try and relieve a couple of those nerves.
Yes, and we're going to jump on board with the man we highlighted earlier, Naded, who I would argue is the team captain of Allegiance, who's taken down by Naded right away, jumping on with Suspector.
Of course, heading over to CTF as our #1 game. And this one, I think, could potentially be over relatively quickly, Walsh. I don't know what it is. I just think Allegiance could come out. I just got that feeling. I think Allegiance is going to come out hot, trying to show everyone exactly what they're made of.
But when we're going slay for slay right now, it looks like Epsilon's gained the better of Allegiance. And not only that, I feel like they're in the better position. You look at someone like Snipe Drone right now, who's over at the Carbine bubble. He is blocking those essential spawns. Just as I say that, looks like Allegiance is pulling their first flag.
Yeah, I don't think they managed to go too far. As interesting, we'll stay in this map. Of course, there's Snipe Drone, and as you mentioned, such a fantastic play. Just give him some breathing room. But here, the flag is finally being pulled in. It's going to be Naded. Managed to get it out the base, not too far. Now needs some teammates just to try and figure out if they can try and pull that flag once again. It looks as if it will be picked up. Some nice covering from L-Town, and he will need to win this 1v1.
Epsilon is not giving up this flag, though. At first, I thought this was a guaranteed flag for Allegiance, just because they have three members down of Epsilon. They take...
Jimbo, what shot that is, but flag does go in. So Allegiance, #1 North American seed, 1-0 up already. And now the question is, are they potentially going to go for a second? Are they going to try and relay? No, it doesn't look like it. Jimbo, though, from Epsilon, he wants to try and go for a counter gap.
Yes, and that is exactly the play you need to do right now. And Jimbo doing a great job, at least trading damage, hopefully stopping that recover, but I think it was too little, too late. We are jumping on with Buck20, who is still on the flank.
Some fantastic positioning, able to put a lot of shots down. Spots the enemy flag carrier, but needs to turn around. It will be Suspector behind him. Can he get the kill? No, he can't. Suspector manages to shut him down. And now, question is, where is that flag?
I don't see it anywhere. I believe it's been recovered.
Yep.
So looks like we're back on even ground, but is this surprising to you off the start? I mean, it looks like Epsilon is holding their own, especially when it comes to individual fights.
Right. And they're doing a good job, as you mentioned at the very beginning of the game, in terms of slaying. Are going a little bit even. They got a little bit unfortunate with that first flag. Not able to get that recover, despite some fantastic shots coming out from Epsilon as they pushed heavy for it. Of course, Camo is up, and Jimbo will have that. That's going to be at 9:46, so we'll see that up in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, great timing by both these squads. For those unfamiliar with the Camo power-up, it gives you 45 seconds of invisibility, and it comes up 2 minutes after it's picked up. So we'll try to look back around the 7:45 mark and see who can acquire that.
57 goes down over to Buck20, his twin brother. Looking to just try and stay alive, wait for that shield to regen. Needs a little bit of support from his team here. As in fact, he actually may just push straight towards his flag, put a little bit of pressure on Allegiance. Will have to win one gunfight. Decides, nope, doesn't want to challenge it just yet. Waiting for that shield to fully regen once again.
Allegiance just seems to have the perfect separation of players, knowing exactly where they should have players at. Because right now, they have one on defense, and that cross-map fire from Naded. Let's jump on board with Suspector, who has run the flag over towards Pink 1. This seems to be the favored route for Allegiance. I've seen a lot of teams seemingly like to favor Carbine, though, because what ends up happening when you run a Carbine side is you block the bubble spawn, which is the closest flag route.
That's going to be 2-0 now in this game for Team Allegiance. The second flag cap coming in from Suspector. Ran that one very, very well. Now the question is, can Allegiance set up for that third and final flag? Of course, CTF, first of 3 flags will win.
Now, the most impressive part to me so far is it just seems like Allegiance just takes it step by step. They aren't like relying on just some random flank in order to get a flagpole. Instead, they are just slowly taking over Pink Tower, slowly sinking someone in the base. And at the same time, they also are somehow holding their own. You notice so many times where we've seen L-Town sitting up in their window, waiting for a member of Epsilon to try to sneak by, and he gets help from Pink to take him down.
Kratos going big defensively, able to shut down Buck20. Recognizes the second player will be challenging. Managed to put some shots in, and Suspector will clean up Buck57. And immediately, as soon as they get those defensive kills, what do you see, Walsh? Allegiance start pushing forward, getting that map control.
Like I said, once again, they push towards Pink Tower. They seem to favor that side. They like to just push in as a team. And same when they push out of their base, you saw how they just took their time, cleared out all the members of Epsilon, and got out.
Kratos immediately starts to backtrack after that initial wave of aggression was shut down by Epsilon. The flag has been pulled. It's going to be Snipe Drone who has it. Now can he try and
2 members down from Bucks, both get a kill. We're going to have to see. Naded's trying to pull the counter cap. Not sure if he is going the correct way, though. Yes, he is. Naded's taking it towards Carbine side. So this was a great play by Naded, but I don't know if it'll be enough, because what Naded did was he said, I'm going to get distraction.
It's going to be returned. It is. And there we go. Epsilon get their first flag of the game, reducing that deficit now just down to 1. But, of course, they need to be careful, because if Allegiance do cap one more, that's game 1 over.
Just so many great plays there. Naded with the great counter pull, trying to run towards Carbine side to be a distraction, but Epsilon not falling for that trick. They send the perfect amount of members towards Carbine side, get the kill, get the recover, and get their first cap.
Yeah, they were so quick to react to that as Sniper now being forced to play a little defensive, has that shot on Naded, makes with the headshot, needs to be cautious here though because he is pretty weak, and that's exactly what I expected. Suspector comes in, cleans up to Book 57 there for the trade though, and speaking of Book 57 on the screen now, he will fall. L-Town managed to clean that up, and you're starting to see Allegiance once again while she get a little bit more aggressive.
They just take their time. It seems like Epsilon just is a bit too much stuck in the base. I like this flank by Jimbo. Jimbo realizing that Allegiance has pink towered constantly. So what he did, he went towards Carbine, pushed towards top center and tried to get a good flank, was eventually taken down though.
That may have just bought his teammates enough time though to reposition themselves and play for that return.
I don't like this play by Buck 20. I feel like he should have pushed through Carbine's side and got to the opponent's base. I mean, he did get one kill, but in the end, taken down, he could have had that counter pull.
The flag, of course, is still alive. We'll see if Buck 57, in fact, counterpull now coming in. Can Buck 57 try and support this? Has a teammate below. He is going to be pretty weak. Suspector cleans him up, but 20 was able to pick up the kill on Naded. Now over to L-Town, who has the Epsilon flag. Waited to see if his teammate can try and recover that flag. Doesn't look like anyone is in a position to do so just yet. Epsilon hanging on, but right now, Allegiance outslaying.
Yeah, and it looks like Epsilon needs to play some heavy defense right now, get a few kills, and get back to almost even ground. Because right now, Allegiance has not only a flag back at their base, but they're also up a member. So when you're in a situation of stalemate, what happens is if you're even in numbers, you want to just see what kind of picks you can get and then go from there. However, if you're down numbers, you play 100% defense. You don't get greedy and try to send some flanker out to get some miraculous kill/recovery.
It's going to be Jimbo who has that flag for Epsilon right now. As L-Town more than happy just to play defensive. And speaking of Jimbo, needs to win that, gets double kill. Fantastic play. That's just going to hold off the Allegiance push. And now we may actually see Epsilon start to get a little bit of map control here and potentially put this flag in.
That's exactly what Epsilon need to do. They played pure defense, realizing they were down numbers. However, they got 2 kills and immediately pushed across the map.
They're pretty much deja vu from the opposite side now. A little bit of a stalemate, of course, still plenty of time to play. 4 minutes, 54 seconds left. And as it stands, it is Allegiance who are starting that little bit of a push as you suspect to pick up Snipe Drone. And Jimbo getting a little bit worried, has Book 57 one-shot bottom blue. And Jimbo really needs to be careful here. Actually decides to drop that flag. They need to slay out.
That was a great play to drop that flag for a split second. When you are spotted with the flag, you have an icon directly over your head. So what Jimbo does, and that was a big mistake, actually lifting up that second time.
I think the flag did drop back down, and there is still Buck 57 there, but he's going to fall. That's going to be Kratos, and you see in the player webcam, he's not happy with that at all, and everyone from Epsilon is falling. Will the flag be returned? I believe it will. There it is, and the flag cap goes in as well. So Allegiance, #1 North American seed, come out and take map #1. You called it. You said it was going to be a 3-1. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, but that score definitely showed that Epsilon has some life. I'd love to see what the stats are here from this past game and see who was, outslaying, because I feel like Epsilon was pretty heavily outslayed, yet they did a decent job with objective efficiency.
Yeah, very, very good job there. But as you rightfully called, you said you expected it to be a 3-1. That's exactly what it was. What can Epsilon maybe do a little bit differently now? Now that we've seen them, both play one map, what can they do maybe differently?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like Epsilon's a bit too much on the defensive. So that one time I highlighted Buck 20's play where Buck spawned up in the bubble, and instead of pushing towards the opposing base where 2 of his teammates went and get a counter pull, instead he went towards his, he went back towards his flag, and it just feels counterintuitive because even if he runs into a member of Allegiance or even if he gets the flag stop, he doesn't have the support of the rest of his team. So Buck, they just all need to be on the same page and say, guess what? We're going to run a counter flag. We're going to cover our flag, and then when we get the opportunity, all push across the map together and go for a recovery.
Would you say that was maybe a communication breakdown, or was that maybe just a misplay on the whole team's part?
I believe that was a misplay in that exact situation by Buck 20, trying to go for, a flag stop. And I don't know their exact strategy, so the whole point being is if that was their plan and saying, guess what, we already have 2 people at the Allegiance base, we have the flag pull, see if you can go get that recovery. But I feel like against a squad like Allegiance, you see how much they group together, that they always run the flag together and have it covered. It's not a one-person job to get that flag recovered against Allegiance.
Yeah, you're going to need to send multiple players. I mean, same can be said with Epsilon, though. You saw how many Allegiance players had to keep on flooding the Epsilon base before they were finally able to get that return. And there you can see everyone watching your vote right now. Allegiance 79%, Epsilon 21%. Still, you guys can vote on Twitter using hashtag HaloWC, and of course either hashtag Allegiance or hashtag Epsilon. But coming up next, we are going to Slayer Eden. Walshy. Now, in terms of what we just witnessed, it seemed relatively even at the beginning in terms of slays. In terms of kills, it was neck and neck between Allegiance and Epsilon. Then it kind of felt as if Allegiance pulled ahead a little bit towards the end.
Yeah, by no means did I think that Allegiance were completely out individually skilling Epsilon. It wasn't like, oh, they're clearly winning all their 1v1s and that's why Allegiance won. It was quite the opposite. I felt like Allegiance just stuck together much better. They executed, raids over on the opposing base and cleared out all the members and ran the flag together towards pink, where it just seemed like Epsilon were kind of on their own a bit and maybe playing a little too defensive and letting Allegiance set the pace.
So heading into Eden, what are you expecting to see?
Eden, obviously, Sniper is going to be the biggest factor. Generally, when I look at the two major power weapons on here, which are Sniper and Rockets, Sniper is the best weapon in any sort of stalemate situation because you can just get those picks across the map. You can basically have a commanding lead with all crossfire across the map. However, Rockets, when things are chaotic, they're great because you can just
fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. So I would like to see whatever team get the Sniper, try to slow it down. Whatever team has Rockets, try to speed up and get that Rockets to acquire the Sniper.
Now,
the whole point with Rockets is your whole goal is not just to get those kills, but to eventually get that second power weapon.
Right, that's exactly it. And you talked about Sniper Drone being a fantastic sniper. It has Sniper in his name, so it's kind of, the clue is in the name, right? Like, you expect to see him do some wonderful things with the sniper rifle. And for Epsilon, I think, is it really as simple as try and get the sniper rifle in Sniper Drone's hands and then set up and play around him? Is it that simple?
So what happens is once Epsilon has Sniper, they just have to slow down the game. One mistake that a lot of even top teams make is when one of their players has Sniper, they try to force too much action.
Right.
When in fact, you just need to let, time's on your side. Just relax. Let your Sniper get those picks.
Get in the groove of things.
Exactly.
I've seen some fantastic snipes coming in from Kratos as well throughout the online qualifiers. So expect to see Allegiance kind of play very fast tempo, I feel. Try and maybe force Epsilon on the back foot from the very, very beginning.
Allegiance did a great job that last match of controlling the pace of the game.
Yes.
They were always pushing and aggressive when they had numbers. They were slowing it down, waiting for the teammates to spawn when they were down in numbers. So they just did a great job, whereas I felt like Epsilon were kind of always just, it just felt like they were a step behind.
They were
already
like, they're proactive.
Exactly. They were just sitting back, waiting for Allegiance to push in, and the times that they did push out, they didn't push together.
Okay, well, let's learn a little bit more about our #1 North American seed, Allegiance. Here's a look at their player profile. The X Factor Naded, as you said, desperate for that first live event win. It's crazy to me that he hasn't been able to do so when you see how good he truly is. Pledge Allegiance, completely new roster, the Halo 5 Guardians, and they've come out and they've done wonders, Walsh.
They're incredible. If you asked before the first NA online qualifier, like who's going to win, who's going to end up as the #1 seed going into X Games or the Halo World Championship, I don't think anyone would have predicted Allegiance. You know that they have a lot of great players, but you would not have predicted them #1 above CLG or EG.
Yeah, you look at some of the teams they've been able to beat out in those online qualifiers, and it's not as if they've had blessed brackets or they've had lucky runs.
No, they've beaten all the top teams.
The best teams in the game, so you really do have to give Allegiance a lot of props. But again, back to Eden Slayer, in terms of the way we're expecting to see them play, is it just going to be keep playing at their tempo and try and force Epsilon reactive? I mean, even better question for you, Walsh, is how do you counter that? If you're one of the Epsilon players and you know Allegiance are going to come out playing fast-paced, what's the mindset? How do you control the game?
Well, it's not exactly that Allegiance is going to come out playing fast-paced. You almost just have to treat it as a game of numbers. Guess what? If you get a double kill in that situation, make sure you're all pushing, trying to press that advantage even further and get those spawn kills on the other two members, and just try to keep that spawn cycle always in your favor.
Well, game 2 will be loading up. As we said, it's going to be Slayer on Eden. And the weapons to look out for, of course, sniper rifle and rockets. Kick things off. Who do you want to watch first?
I want to go with the man who has Snipe in his name, and that's Snipe Drone. Look at that. Right off the bat, he threw a grenade, blew up those explosive barrels, and looks like he's kind of baiting it because he realizes that there's going to be a couple of members of Allegiance watching that sniper. However, this is a risky play to try to go for this now because he knows Allegiance has rockets.
That was some good shots, but not actually able to pick up that kill. Did manage to get the sniper in hand, and now we'll see exactly what he can try and do. Goes to the spawn, Slam Man does connect with the kill on Suspector immediately, though, spinning around. Such good knowledge of spawns.
Incredible play by Snipe Drone there because he realized there was a member over at Blue Base with rockets, and he just said, guess what? I have to push out of here. I cannot wait around.
And that was the spawn I thought he was there. Waiting for as it was Naded who spawned directly behind him, managed to clear that kill, and that will give complete power weapon control now to Allegiance. You see, L-Town has rockets, and I believe Naded is the one with sniper rifle, has an SMG in his back pocket as well.
Yes, and we're going to have to see what Allegiance does to slow this down, because as soon as they slow it down and let Nade get picks, this lead could get out of control.
Just Naded playing playing it slow, waiting for those picks. We've seen him in the online qualifiers do wonderful things with the sniper rifle, so he's definitely capable of getting some picks. In terms of the score, 8-3 in favor of Allegiance. Pretty much what we were talking about before the game started was what we expected to see as well.
And look at exactly what Nade's doing. He's creating so much distance between himself and Epsilon members. He realized that they spawned over at blue and decided to push all the way over towards red base and try to get those picks at blue plat.
Being very, very cautious. Teammates pulling everything out. Spotted someone that immediately looks at the motion tracker, and there will be 2 players directly behind him, but I'm not exactly sure where they went. I think his teammate actually cleaned one of them up, and now Native recognizing, hey, I have the sniper rifle, I need to get close to my teammates.
Yep, use each weapon to its advantage. So what Native's doing is saying, guess what, I have the best long-range weapon in the game. I'm going to keep running away until I'm as far away as possible from Epsilon.
And
that keeps, it's going to rotate depending on where Epsilon's at. Now, Native has an interesting combo.
I was just about to say,
sniper-shotgun combo. Now, I think this combo works better on different maps. Like, Native knows better than me, I'm sure, but it's one of the situations that Native is the most important man alive. I wouldn't be surprised to see him drop the shotgun if he gets closer to one of his teammates.
I just sneak behind Buck 20 there and pick up another kill. Extends that lead 12-7 now. Slayer first to 50, and there's the pick we expected to see on Native, ironically on Snipe Drone. Play from Epsilon that we highlighted as being a fantastic player when he gets that sniper rifle in his hands. And Native just peeking around that corner, spots the second, cleans up Buck 57.
Yes, and he's doing a great job of being aware of where a threat could be. So what he did, he realized there was someone weak over at Red Band, and he also knows that somebody has rockets by Turbine. I believe that member is Jimbo. He is not going to challenge that right away. So what Native did was got that first pick over at the fan, backed up, and looked to see if Jimbo would make a mistake and peek his head out.
See Native with that fantastic line of sight. Just waiting to see if anyone from Epsilon will get a little too giddy there, and Snipe Drone for the second time, not expecting Native to clean him up with that sniper rifle. The lead now at 6 kills.
Yeah, you have to give some credit to Epsilon, though, because during this entire time, Allegiance, for the most part, has had sniper control. And somehow, Epsilon's able to get control of rockets and keep this to a 5/6 kill game. However, that could start to get more out of control because not only does Nate have sniper, but his teammate L-Town has the second sniper.
Yep, they've managed to control both sniper rifles, and this now really is where you can see that lead start to spiral out of control. Epsilon did a fantastic job of just playing the game at the correct pace, I feel. They weren't too aggressive. They weren't being picked out by that sniper too much. But now you've given Team Allegiance 2 sniper rifles. This is not going to be an easy task.
Now, it's more so credit towards Allegiance because you notice what Native did is he rotated 3 different times. He rotated from rocket spawn over to red base to tower, tower to blue plat. Whole point being is Epsilon kept trying to get closer to Native, and Native just was one step ahead of him.
Yeah, and you saw him pick up that shotgun for the close quarter engagement that he was expecting. He managed to get a pick with that as well. So in terms of just power weapon control, L-Town, hello, cheeky little no-scope there on Buck 20. But in terms of that power weapon control, it just has been all Allegiance. And this is something we've seen them do time and time again throughout those online qualifiers as L-Town spots one more bottom bridge. Don't think he's going to be able to clean that up. Snipe Drone was able to get the pick on Native. L-Town's trying to put on a show for X Games right now.
Yes, he says, I don't like to zoom in for my snipe kills. I'm just going to go for some flashy plays, see if I can get on the ESPN top 10 highlights this weekend.
Hey, gonna play this one a little wiser than this. Try and back away. Has the BR as his secondary as well. It's worth mentioning Suspector has rocket control too. So
just look at these rotations. Yes, they're doing a great job controlling the weapons, but more so is these rotations. The reason that Allegiance is ahead by so much is because they've constantly rotated with Sniper. They never felt obligated just to stay in one spot and hold their ground. They realized, guess what? As soon as we start to lose this area, push out immediately. Clear a lane, and we'll take over red base.
2 shots left in this sniper rifle for L-Town. Of course, does have that BR in the back pocket if he needs to use it like we just saw him do. But 23-10, lead now at 10 kills. Just going to call that out to his teammate. Spots the second. Suspector still with rockets. Do bear that in mind. And again, you expect to see that rotation come through once again when those power weapons are spawning.
Yeah, the problem here for Epsilon right now is they've kind of committed to too slow of a pace of game when they don't have the power weapons. Yes, of course they attempted to try to find where the sniper was at, where Native was at, but it just took them a little too long. Now you see multiple power weapons in the hands of Allegiance at the same time. And 30 seconds from now, not only is sniper coming up, but also rockets.
And this is where I feel Epsilon are going to need to try and make that decision, which one to go for. And it seems Buck 57 being very, very sneaky and ram rockets up in 18 seconds. There will be Kratos bottom rockets, and Buck 57, some shaky shots. It is pretty windy in Aspen, so do bear that in mind. Bug20 was able to trade that kill. It looks as if they've lost complete rocket control unless Sniper can go big for the squad. Suspector just melees Jimbo there, though, and it is basically all going to be down to Sniper, and he does get his hands on rockets. Can he find the line of sight now to shut down Sniper, but not able to do so quick enough?
I was surprised about that play by Snipe Drone. He realized that he had rockets in his hand. He saw the icon on Sniper. He could have just fired that random rocket. Yeah. I don't think that would have been that bad of a play because you can always expect somebody to stand on top of power weapons, sometimes immediately. So yeah. I'm surprised they didn't go for that because now you're seeing the third sniper rifle in the hands of none other than Brett Nated Leonard.
See if he's going to be able to be just as lethal as he was when he had it in his hands the first time. That lead again starting to get a little bit bigger. 31-17. Spots someone rotating over towards Blue Base. Going to call that out to Kratos. Kratos now going to challenge. He eats a grenade straight in the face. And Bug57 did shut down Kratos here. And that's going to be terrible because Sniper is going to be completely pinned. It's going to be down to Nated to try and make an elaborate play. Goes for the no-scope. Pops the shield but can't pick the kill up. And Jimbo will walk away with the sniper rifle.
Yes, for the first time we are seeing the sniper in the hands of Allegiance. I'm jumping on the Snipe Drone for a second until Jimbo gets set up. Yep, jumping on with Jimbo, who now is at Blue Base. The only problem is he only has 2 bullets. It was just too little too late. I mean, new sniper will be up in about 2 minutes, but look at how much ammo Nated went through in that short period of time.
Jimbo being pretty efficient with it though. 1 shot, 1 kill so far. Pulls out a VR. Will be Suspector. Bottom rockets cleans him up for the double kill. And as he said, just 1 bullet left in that sniper rifle now. We'll see if he can pick up that final kill with it and try and reduce that deficit. As it stands, it's 34-25 game in favor of the North Americans, Team Allegiance.
It just seems like Epsilon is not focused on the correct location. A great ground pound by Jimbo, taking down Suspector.
Cheeky, like it. Nice to walk away with that melee kill, and there we go. We see a little bit of extra ammo.
I have poor eyesight. I thought that was a 0. Instead, he had actually 8 bullets in the chamber. Because I was a little surprised, yeah, because I just assumed, I was like, wow, that was only 40 seconds with Sniper. He somehow used 12 bullets? Nope, not quite the case.
Well, sniper rifle in Jimbo's hands. Goes for the no-scope, pops the shield, not going to pick up the kill. Rockets are now up, and everyone from Epsilon starting to fall. And we will see Kratos just walk up the rockets, get control of that. Of course, we'll call out sniper rifle down to his teammate, but eats a grenade to the face, and Jimbo very, very quick at picking up that kill. And you can see now a little bit of a comeback in the works. Now just down to a 7-kill deficit.
Yes, and this is a surprising score given how many power weapons that Allegiance has controlled. Only a 6-kill game, and I think we've only seen 2 sniper kills from Epsilon.
Jimbo is really starting to heat up now. You see him in the kill feed quite a lot, picking up a lot of kills. 6-kill deficit. Of course, Allegiance now just need 10 more kills before this is going to be over. Suspector firing that grenade out, landing at Bug57's feet. This is a big win for Bug20 if he's able to get it. Not going to happen. L-Town cleans that up. And that lead, once again, starting to creep forward for Team Allegiance.
If you had to ask me what was going wrong this entire game, it truly is power weapon control. Great plays by Jimbo, especially in this close-range combat situations. But whole point being is we've seen, I would say, 75% of the power weapons in the hands of Allegiance throughout this game.
But the most important one could be the one we just saw come up right now, Sniper Rifle. The big fight is going to go for this. And if Epsilon are able to get their hands on it, they may be able to reduce that deficit. Jimbo, with someone directly in front of him, he shuts down Nated, immediately traded though. Kratos was there for the support. And the question, where is that Sniper Rifle? We have Suspected with rockets, and I believe it's Kratos who has that Sniper Rifle in hand.
Yeah, that's rough. Not only did they lose Sniper, but somehow they lost their last rocket, and that went back to bite them as Suspector takes down Snipe Drone with the rocket kill.
Let's see if Epsilon can hold on. You see, immediately the game pace just changed so drastically. Epsilon recognizing, hey, Allegiance only need 5 kills. They have both power weapons. We could be in some trouble here. They need to play as a team and try and pinch out this rocket player in the form of Kratos. Kratos, though, just firing so many free shots. No one from Epsilon able to locate exactly where he is. And at 47-38, you have to say this is GG.
Yeah, it's going to be so tough to come back from this deficit. It's almost insurmountable because this team like Allegiance, they're able to slow down the game so much and at least go trade kills. Like, even if all 4 members of Allegiance take it down, they're going to take down one of them. And just like that, 50-38 in favor of Allegiance.
Definitely saw a bit of life, though, coming out from Epsilon. They made a fantastic comeback. They reduced the deficit down to 5 at one point, but just weren't able to get that last power weapon cycle of control. If they had, maybe this could have been a different scoreline at the end of this game.
Well, I mean, you asked me before this game, you say, guess what? Allegiance versus Epsilon on Eden Team Slayer, and Allegiance has 5 of the 6 sniper rifles, or 4 of the 5 sniper rifles. What do you think the score is going to be? I would say that's stake central. Like, they're going to beat them 50-30 or less.
Yeah.
However, 50-38, that's a respectable score given how many power-ups they had, but at this point, Epsilon isn't going for respectable. They're going for the win.
Of course, they're here to walk away or try and walk away with X Games gold. That's why everyone is here. But there is a look at that scoreboard. You see at the end, Suspector with 16 kills, Altown 16 as well. Naded with 9, had 7 deaths.
That's a surprising amount of slays given how many snipers Nade had early on. It just goes to show the presence of Sniper on the map and what it can do, not just as far as getting picks and stuff. It's more so cutting off angles where people cannot cross map and flank the ways that they'd really like to. And so Nade is just being that constant threat across the map.
On the other side, Jimbo, of course, with 16, Snipe Drone with 10. But we did see a little bit of life there from Epsilon. I'm impressed with what we saw. Heading now next to a Strongholds Empire, because the series is over. Best of 5 worth mentioning. But Strongholds Empire, is this now where maybe we see that teamwork from Team Allegiance just be too much for Epsilon to handle?
I mean, it's seemed that way this entire series so far, so I don't see that changing in Game 3. However, one point I want to highlight is Empire Strongholds, that bottom middle pit is ground pound central. And after seeing that play that I believe Jimbo pulled off on Suspector, we could see some absolutely incredible plays in pit that could go in Jimbo's favor, but at the same time, a ground pound or two isn't going to be the difference in beating Allegiance's teamwork.
Definitely will help. Maybe give him a little bit of confidence. You know when Jimbo hit that, he was like, yo, you just got wrecked, bro. Like, that's going on ESPN top 10 plays for sure. But, of course, heading into Strongholds Empire, it's going to be very tough, I feel, for Epsilon. We both kind of said it would be a 3-0 so far. Everything going or looking like that could be the ultimate case. What do Epsilon need to do, though, Walsh, if they are going to take down the Strongholds Empire? Is it all as simple as they need to have a good breakout? They need to get, control early? What is it going to be?
Well, the two things we saw so far, so game number 1, just not sticking together, not pushing together as much. Game number 2, power-up control. So let's put those two together. Epsilon is going to be needing to focus on the correct areas all together at the same time, and they're going to be needing to get control of the overshield and scatter shot.
Shield definitely going to be key, and as you mentioned, scatter shot as well, going to be very, very important in terms of controlling. As of right now, though, I feel like Allegiance, just that power weapon control we saw in Game 2 was just so strong. You never felt as if they weren't in the right position to control any of the power weapons.
Yeah, every game here, it hasn't been a blowout, but at the same time, it's never been like Allegiance had a chance of losing. It's always just sort of been like, all right, Allegiance not absolutely destroying them, but they're still up by 10 kills.
They definitely seem to have control.
Yes, they have control of the game
aspect.
almost at all time.
Even map 1 was the same.
I don't think they've been down in the game yet. Allegiance had the first cap during the Truth CTF. Allegiance went up to a 7-2 kill lead at Eating Team Slayer. Now, maybe they need to get that right start. Get that first overshield and get control of pit.
Expect to see so many grenades thrown out towards pit, though, that's for sure. Map loading up now. Empire Strongholds. Could be where we see the #1 North American seed solidify a 3-0 victory in their first X Games matchup. And we're going to be on board with Suspector straight off the bat. Doesn't actually go straight for that OS. OS is still actually up before actually being picked up, and it's like you knew Suspector was going to get it. It was very impressive.
I predicted it, but no, that's a really tough one. They are all focused on Suspector, and at least Epsilon is focused on area together, almost giving Suspector the triple kill and control of pit.
Yep, more importantly, does walk away with pit, and Strongholds, you need 2 Strongholds to earn some points. However, someone from Epsilon has been pretty sneaky here. They rotated all the way around. You will see Suspector finally lose OS, but outshoots Jimbo. That's going to hurt.
Yes, those are the sort of fights. Like I said, even if Epsilon is outclassed slightly in 1v1 battles, you still need to win the battles that you are ahead in. So that's something that you cannot have happen if you want to walk away with X Games gold medal.
That early aggression that we wanted to see from Epsilon doesn't look like it's going to be the case, as that is going to be a triple cap inbound for Team Allegiance. Red base will be taken away from them, and Bug 57 is on pit as well here, so maybe that aggression could actually cost Allegiance if they are to lose 2 Strongholds here, but pit was instantly reset, so you're going to see Bug 57 have to work again to try and put some points down on this pit. 50% now, about to be 75%, but jumps off it again. Needs to be careful, no one resets it, and immediately you just see Allegiance, that was Kratos, just immediately just jumps on and resets.
Snipe drone with the double kill, and look at this. It looks like Epsilon is finally focused on the same area together. I think that was Jimbo who got the double kill and is now trying to get pit. So keep in mind that they're not only just getting pit, they almost have a trip cap.
Right, there was a fantastic distraction on pit. You saw someone actually wrap around all the way to red base, get that cap. So they do have that advantage for now. Buck 20 picks up one, picks up two. The double kill for Melees. And is he thinking about potentially jumping on Pit? Maybe a little too early there.
Yeah, and that might be just him being a little overzealous, getting a little greedy, saying, I got the double kill. Maybe I can try to get this triple and get control of Pit. You need to take it inch by inch. You cannot just hope that you're pulling off a ridiculous play to get control of Pit. It needs to be a team effort, just like this from that double kill by Jimbo.
Yeah, he managed to get control of that scatter shot and immediately just jumped straight into Pit. Had a teammate there as well for support. And you're going to start to see Epsilon now reduce that deficit 25 to 14. And immediately it seems as if Jimbo wants to actually just push up.
And this is a great play, though. Epsilon are doing a strategy together. They're pushing towards blue base, getting this cap, and they got control of the power-ups. The two main things we said that they need to do before this match.
Exactly that. Still a 2-to-1 advantage. As you see Jimbo redirect his attention to those new spawns for Allegiance. No OS left. But just playing this one so smart, recognizing there could be a push from Kratos over to blue base. Fantastic grenade. And for now, Epsilon doing a fantastic job of reducing the deficit.
Yes, Epsilon is actually in the driver's seat for the first time in this series. Only 5 seconds down and have complete control of the map.
Jimbo really is starting to heat up in this series. Game 2, he played fantastic, and it seems like he's continuing that momentum across into this Game 3. Kratos going to get shot from behind. Player is in Pit. Jimbo has to go big for the squad. Looked as if he was going to try and go for a ground pound, but Allegiance doing what they do best, flooding a stronghold and getting control of it immediately right back.
Just took it so fast. Generally, when you have bottom center Pit, you don't have to worry about someone jumping in immediately, because most players at this top level realize it's almost a death trap. However, Alliance took advantage of that misunderstanding and jumped 3 people in the Pit immediately and just capped it before Jimbo was even a factor.
Suspecta with the double kill, looking as if he was trying to find that triple, but just as Epsilon do all that hard work, Walsh bring themselves within touching distance of that score, and Allegiance with the 2-to-1 stronghold advantage start building up that lead once again. Fantastic shots from Suspecta with the SMG. Expects to see someone else on that Pit side. Native will trade that kill though, and for now Pit stays in Allegiance control.
It just seems like when Allegiance has control of Pit, it is so much tougher to get. Allegiance oddly focuses more on Turbine, where you see a lot of teams, like when we saw Jimbo and Epsilon had control of Pit, they were more focused on Tower.
Yeah.
And now you see Allegiance more so focused on outside. So this is an interesting difference in strategies, maybe like that North American versus European strategy that you were talking about.
Yeah, the scatter shot in the hands of Buck 57 needs to try and put it to some use. Only able to pick up the assist. Epsilon were able to get control of Pit though. So 2-to-1 stronghold advantage. Exactly what you were talking about. You see Epsilon now try and set up towards top tower as opposed to the Turbine side.
Yeah, I guess I find that odd because I feel like, personally, I feel like tower is the stronger position, especially if you have a close range weapon like Scatter Shot, because you have so many options to either run from bomb tower and go kill out. Just as I say that, looks like Epsilon working together, taking down 3 members of Allegiance. Now, can he take down the 4th? No. We're going to jump on with Buck 57 from Epsilon.
Buck 20 had shut down L-Town. That would have been the triple cap there for Epsilon, and you would know that deficit would be reduced massively. Sadly, it wasn't to be. Allegiance keep one stronghold in their advantage, but it is still a favor for the Europeans right now with that 2-to-1 advantage. Chipping away at that Allegiance lead once again. Sniper Drone with the assault rifle turns around, gets some damage down before falling. Jimbo able to clean up that kill, and Jimbo doing a fantastic job of just defending Pit right now. Looks for the new combo, shuts down L-Town anyway. Fantastic shots coming in from Jimbo.
Not just shutting down L-Town, but out BRing him and going on a killing spree. Bucks at 57, maybe taking a little bit too much damage right there with melee. But yes, as you said, tie game. Who's going to get control of this next Overshield? I don't have the exact time of it, but as we said before, Overshield gives you that extra layer of protection, and it comes up 2 minutes after it's been grabbed, and it spawns in Pit.
You'd have to look at Epsilon to try and get control of this area. Of course, they do have Pit control. Jimbo outshoots L-Town. L-Town trying to go for maybe a little bit of too much of a stylish play there with the ground pound. Maybe could have just tried to go for the easier kill, but Pit being contested by Allegiance. This game is now in favor of Epsilon. They have that 2-to-1 advantage, 60 to 52 the scoreline. It's first to 100 points here in Strongholds on board now with Suspecta.
Like I said before, I've not seen this last OS grab, but it's got to be coming up immediately. Most of these teams grab it, you know, I would say 10-15 seconds after the first initial spawn. So the first, or this last OS should be up probably sometime around like the 5:30 to 5:40 mark. All these teams biting down, going for it, and who got control of it? I believe it was Suspecta.
Suspecta just got a double kill melee, got OS control, found another kill as well, gets Pit Stronghold. That right there, best play of the series.
That could be exactly what Allegiance needs, not only to get control of Pit, but to actually tie this game. They were down 15 seconds, and they're slowly closing that gap.
Jimbo able to pick up that kill on Suspector, so there will be no more OS to worry about. However, Allegiance were pretty efficient with OS. They were able to get back control of Pit. Now the deficit down to 9 points. Epsilon desperately trying to fight back for that Pit control. It's a big gunfight. Suspector with the SMG shuts down Buck 57. Buck 20 was there for the pick. Now you see Epsilon start to flood Pit. Will they get the capture? Yes, they will. But immediately Kratos picks up a double. It could go straight back to Allegiance, Walsh.
And it seems like Kratos almost got a little too greedy. He realized that 3 members of his team just got killed, and he tried to go for the cap. You gotta think that might have been a mistake on Kratos. So not sure if that'll come back to haunt them, but Epsilon doing all the keys that we said at the beginning of this match. They have scatter shot more often than Allegiance. They have overshields just about equal amount, which is better than, you know, losing 4 out of 5 power weapons.
Buck 20 will fall over at red base, but I believe for now they have
Triple
managed
cap.
to. There we go, finally. Allegiance able to get some control of it, but that trip cap was there for a little bit of time. It's given them a comfortable lead, over 20 points now. The biggest we've seen so far in this game 3. Blue base being captured. Sniper, fantastic rotation. Expected L-Town to be there, but they need to make sure they don't lose Pit, but they will lose Pit control. Sniper able to pick up 1 for the double kill. Couldn't find the second. Now it falls to Buck 20.
That's 3 members down for Allegiance. We're going to see if Buck 20 can slip here in Pit and maybe get this cap, but now must have had 1 member of Allegiance spawn up and help obviously finish that off. But I thought that was going to be the pivotal moment where they could have got Pit control, because right now, Epsilon only 12 seconds away from winning this match. Pit control is really tough to get back. So tough.
Do you feel Epsilon now should maybe rotate across opposite? Oh my, Jimbo. Jimbo is playing so well in this series with the double. Looks for one more. Finds the triple kill. Can he find the overkill? Don't think he's going to be able to do so. But more importantly, will get Pit control. That is huge for Epsilon. In fact, no, he jumped off. It does go back. Thank God. I thought for a minute there that could have been reset, but it's a 2-1 advantage. Epsilon now just 10 seconds away, or 10 points away.
Yes, and look at this. Spectre doing a great job. 3 members down for Epsilon. So right now, if Nated and crew are going to come back in this match, now is the moment. They need to control Pit and get control of one side bases. And instead they say, guess what, we're going to get all 3.
If they pick up this kill on red base, Epsilon could be in some serious trouble. Nated going to go for that challenge, puts a couple of shots down, does escape with his life. That is huge. Staying alive here is absolutely massive, and immediately could act as a little bit of a distraction here for the team as he heads back towards red base to go for the cap. This is a huge gunfight. Buck 20's going to get outshot. That red base is being capped, but so is Pit. I don't think anyone from Allegiance is there to stop it. In fact, they are. They dive on, and they get the reset. Meanwhile, red base is being taken. Look at the score as well. Well, she's a tied game, 92-92. A trip cap for Allegiance. That could be it for Epsilon.
Back-to-back trip caps. And it looks like Epsilon's trying to stop this bleeding, but they're all losing 1v1s. It's just
That's
over.
Game. Fantastic closing seconds right there for Allegiance. Played it pretty much perfectly, Walsh.
Epsilon played that so well too. Yeah, you gotta give the credit to Allegiance at the end there. Just did not make any mistakes. They got the crucial kills they needed, got triple caps back to back, and for the final, I would say, like 30 seconds of the game, it seems like Allegiance actually were focusing on the correct areas together. Whereas when we saw early on, it seemed like members of Allegiance were just kind of pushing around wherever they felt like and trying to kind of solo cap hills.
Right, that's definitely going to be the difference there. But you saw, as you mentioned, I don't necessarily say Allegiance struggling in Strongholds there, because you got to give props to Epsilon.
Yes.
But when you see Allegiance go up against, a team like Evil Geniuses or a team like CLG, I think they may have some problems, Walsh.
Yeah, and I was actually taking a quick look at the stats, and I believe Epsilon may have actually went even in slays or slightly outslayed. I was quick doing the math, and
so far I've trusted your maths. I've trusted it. So
actually, it looked like absolute even in slays.
Even in slays?
Even in slays. And what was one of our keys to victory for Epsilon beginning? Objective efficiency. If they're going even in slays or slightly negative in slays against some of these top squads, they have to be objective efficient enough to close out those games.
That was an extremely close game 3. 100 points to just 92. It looked so close as if Epsilon were going to be able to take it, but sadly not able to do so. And there, of course, you see the sportsmanlike ship from both of our teams, the handshakes going in. But Allegiance kicking off their X Games campaign very, very well. The #1 seed coming into the tournament with a 3-0 victory. That's going to give them a lot of confidence. And maybe calm down a little bit of those nerves as well. And Walshy, here is that scoreboard. Oh, just as we change.
Just as we change.
Give me a different
I'll pull up a different one. I can do that. Actually,
you have the ability.
Here we go. Let me try this
The
one.
power of Walshy.
Boom.
Right here, ladies and gentlemen. We should have a scoreboard right now.
All right, but yeah, pulled up the last scoreboard. But I think all these players are unplugging the controllers and stuff and moving on to get this next match going because we just want to see more Halo played.
Absolutely, of course. But as we were saying, Allegiance kicking off that X Games campaign very, very well. Epsilon now with 2 more games to play in that group, starting off 0-1 record. How do they recover from that now?
I mean, they're going against the #1 seed, and they put up a fight. Of course, nobody is ever going to be satisfied with a loss. You can always take away something, and you should be able to take away from that the different mistakes you made. But the same point being is they lost the #1 seed, and they almost took Game 3. They had a really good showing in Game 2, despite not having power weapons. They even pulled a great counter cap in Game 1. There were a lot of amazing plays from Epsilon, but the whole point was Allegiance just made fewer mistakes. They stuck together. They had more team fight opportunities and truly outplayed Epsilon.
Well, that's going to do it from myself and Walshy for now. And I believe we actually can send it down to Bravo, who has an interview for us.
All right, thanks, guys. Down here with Nated Brett, you guys are coming off a big series there. 3-0 sweep. Tell me, how's the team feeling?
Team's feeling good. It was our first match, so we're kind of getting warm. Definitely going to be a tougher challenge tomorrow, playing Liquid and Renegades. So we're probably going to talk strats tonight, and get ready.
One of the things I noticed after that game 2, when you guys won 50-38 on that Slayer match, I noticed a few of your teammates had smiles on your face, but I could tell that you weren't thrilled with that result. And I felt like that you knew your team could do better in that Slayer, despite a 12-kill victory, right? Which is a decent lead in the Slayer. Tell me how you're feeling.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really blow them out in the games, really, but, we got the job done. Maybe we'll definitely got to step it up for tomorrow. It can't be coming out, playing any type of lackadaisical, Halo or anything like that, relaxed Halo. We got to come out firing, intense, especially against teams like Liquid and Renegades. So.
And speaking of, tell me, I mean, I believe this is the first time you're coming to a major LAN event with the first seed. Is that right?
I believe so, yeah. I believe so.
Is this the team that's going to do it? Is this the roster that's going to win the event?
I hope so, man. That would be an amazing dream come true, win a gold medal at the X Games playing Halo. I mean, who would have thought,
Yeah, absolutely. And walk me through one last thing. I think everyone watching that last game 3, you guys were down by maybe about 10 to 15 right at the end of the game as Epsilon seemed to have control of 2/3 of the map at almost every point. You guys instead then triple capped twice in a row. You win a crazy battle against a Storm Rifle player in red, come back with the ground pound. What's going on at that point? Because, I mean, it looked like it could have been over. I wasn't sure if I was going to be talking to you this soon.
It was. It really came down to the overshields, honestly. They got a couple overshields in the middle of the game, and that got them pit control, which, and once I get that, now we got to deal with an overshield guy. But I was luckily able to burn the last overshield, which was able to give us enough wiggle room to, trip cap and get the job done.
Awesome, man. Congrats to you. Congrats to your team on the win. Best of luck tomorrow. We'll be back. More matches in just a bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the top 5 plays from